The riders shaking it out.
Mike Craig, who usually gets off to a good start, he's lined up all the way on the inside. Next to him is Hughes, then LaRocco.
And they're revving it up. And we're all set to go for the 250-minute event. It is Craig Albertine, number 16 on the Suzuki, with McGrath to the outside.
McGrath almost in last place. Horrible start.
Oh, my goodness. And the crowd is excited because Larry Ward is our leader.
This looks like Anaheim last year. Larry Ward with a whole shot and McGrath buried in the pack.
Jeremy McGrath in 10th position right now.
Oh, he's got a long ways to go. He still hasn't even come by our screen there. He just went by.
Larry Ward, Ezra Lusk, Lampson.
McGrath is right behind Damon Huffman, who also got off to a bad start. This is going to be a good one.
Jeremy McGrath, officially, I think we'll find out, made the first turn in 11th position. Here's Larry Ward, number 6, in his first race back since getting the cast off a thumb that he fractured in Europe before the season started. He tried the first race of the year in Orlando and slowed down to a 15th position after starting in 6th. That thumb was just too painful. Here's Jeremy McGrath, Larry Ward, Ezra Lusk, James Dobb, Albertine.
And there you see McGrath, he's still in 10th place. Unable to make up any time. This track is really tough to pass on. You see, he tried to go to the inside of Mike Brown right there. Really to no avail. Now he's going to try the outside. Just nowhere to go. But out front, Larry Ward, this is a great opportunity because Ezra Lusk, then Greg Albertine, then Lampson. I don't think that Larry Ward is that intimidated by these guys, and he's already starting to pull away.
Ward, if he has anything left condition-wise in this 20-lap race, that'll be an interesting question later on. Right now, he's making the most of it.
Well, that's true, Art, but the guys that I really believe that can come up and challenge him are buried in the pack. They're going to use a lot of energy by the time they even get close to him, so I think it'll be evenly matched.
Larry Ward over the finish line jump. Ezra Lusk right behind him. We talked with Larry Ward earlier about being a little bit nervous in his first event since getting that cast off.
Well, I got my cast off Monday night, and I went out Tuesday not really knowing what to expect. And I jumped on the bike, and within 10 minutes, I was jumping all the big jumps and stuff, and it wasn't bothering me too bad. So I talked it over with my team manager at Kehoe and Phil Alderton, the owner of Honda Troy team, and I said, shoot, let's go ahead and try to race. So we went out there. I'm going to try to ride press day. And I wanted to ride Seattle, and it's going to be really hard for me to come back. My first race, I'm going to be nervous, and I'm a little bit behind because I haven't raced yet this year. And so I figured might as well come back at Seattle. That way I have the crowd on my side, and I get a little extra adrenaline edge at Seattle. So I think that'll help me. Because I'd like to come back with a top 5 finish my first race back. I think that'd be real strong, and that'd give me confidence for the rest of the year.
A courageous performance right now for Larry Ward, number 6, coming back to his own native land as he grew up in the state of Washington, now lives in South Carolina. And Larry Ward with about a 3-second lead on Ezra Lusk. Jeremy McGrath, trying to weed his way up through the crowd, is now making some passes in the whoops.
You can see him right there, right next to Brian Swink. He's going to the outside. He's already moved around Damon Huffman and left him in the dust. So McGrath has got a fast pace, but he's got all these guys in front of him that are going to be stealing those best lines. So Jeremy's going to have to get really creative tonight. He's going to have a lot left to deal with Larry Ward.
Number 23, Brian Swink, who had some good runs in the heat races. And Jeremy is having trouble really finding a good line around him.
Well, it's the fastest line around this track, and he's got 5 or 6 guys all taking those best lines. Look at that, 3 guys right in front of him. He's got nowhere left to go, but he makes the move around the outside of Swing.
Let's go down to the trackside to Davey Combs.
Okay, I'm standing here with Sean Persinger. He's going to lean out and give Larry Ward a signal. This has got to be a surprise for everyone. The fans, the factories. Larry Ward's first ride back. He's done this well. Sean, how is Larry's stamina?
Right now he's riding really good. We're only about 5 laps into it, and he's keeping a really strong pace the whole race. To his advantage, McGrath got a really crappy start, so I think that's going to pump him up. He knows if he
Okay, Larry Ward, number 6, number 34.
Dan, we got a problem down here with
number 4 is Steve Lamson, and look at Jeremy McGrath, number 1. He has now moved up that close, out of the whoops into 5th position.
LaRocco with a problem there. There's a lot of smoke coming out of his bike. That looks like perhaps he's busted the water, the radiator. Water's leaking out onto the pipe. That's where the smoke is. I don't know if he's even going to finish this race, Art.
Could have been a rock that went up into the radiator.
Yeah, I think so. He's already starting to ride slow.
Don't forget, anything can happen here in Seattle. Jeremy McGrath was leading every lap in this race 2 years ago. And he had a flat tire, ending up in 3rd.
Lamson now in a great battle for 2nd with Ezra Lusk. Takes over that spot. Blocks him out. Now Larry Ward's going to look back over his shoulder and see Lamson in 2nd. And we know that Larry Ward last year when Anna, look at that, McGrath coming up too. When he looks over his shoulder and sees those guys, if the nerves kick in, that's really going to tell the story.
Steve Lamson, after a horrible start on the season with an 11th and a 14th, and on that 14th in Minneapolis, he got the whole shot but faded with a crash, but he took a 3rd in Anaheim, and his confidence is back up there as he runs in 2nd position.
And you know what? McGrath, who was behind Damon Huffman at the beginning, carved through the pack, and Damon Huffman has hitched a ride just out of your screen right there. There he is. He's actually jumped over the hay bales right there on the inside. He's copying every move McGrath makes. So if McGrath goes to the lead, Huffman's going to be there too.
Here comes Jeremy. Leaping right by Ezra Lusk. Outstanding, weeding his way through this entire field. So it's now the Honda of Troy's Larry Ward, Team Honda Steve Lamson, Team Honda Jeremy McGrath, and Ezra Lusk is having his hands full with Damon Huffman.
And surprisingly, Larry Ward has hung on to the same lead.
What a performance by Jeremy McGrath on this Kingdome track. We'll be back with the finish of our 250. Steve Lamson.
And he's already starting to cut into that lead. Look how close he is behind Larry Ward. Larry Ward's been there before, and he cracked. But McGrath almost goes down right there, as does Greg Albertine, but he gets going again. Oh, this is the battle that this Seattle crowd wanted to see. Their hometown boy out in front of Jeremy McGrath. McGrath with a bad start, already into 2nd place. Can he put the moves on Larry Ward?
Larry Ward with a 3-second lead on Jeremy McGrath as Jeremy McGrath goes into the double trouble. He's picking up space on Larry Ward. Into the whoops. Let's check it out.
And you can see right over their shoulders, Damon Huffman has moved past Lamson into 3rd spot.
Damon Huffman with an excellent job moving to 3rd. Jeremy McGrath now right on the bumper of Larry Ward. Only a matter of time, wouldn't you say, David Bailey?
Well, at the rate he's caught him, I would say so. Here he comes up the inside.
The fans here at the Kingdome wanting to capture the situation themselves pictorially. The flashbulbs are popping all over.
Well, you can bet Larry Ward's nervous now.
Mike LaRocco is out of the race. Here comes Jeremy McGrath. Larry Ward cuts him off.
Larry Ward did a brilliant move right there, not to let Jeremy cut back underneath him.
He's got the inside. Jeremy McGrath is now our leader. And look at Damon Huffman also trying to sneak in to take 2nd place.
Well, both those guys
Jeremy McGrath, Damon Huffman, and now Larry Ward along with Steve Lamson in 4th.
Now, it ain't over yet, Art. Huffman does not think that he thinks he's faster than McGrath. He's not going to let him get away. He's going to put pressure on him. This is the battle now.
That'll be interesting to mark as we go along in this race. 20 grueling laps here in the Kingdome. Very soft soil. It's running out, taking that energy, sucking the energy right out of the riders. Here comes Damon Huffman on Jeremy McGrath. This is going to be the first race in 250 this year.
Huffman putting the pressure on McGrath. That's something we haven't seen in years. Can McGrath withstand that kind of pressure?
David Bailey, you've been saying all year long that Damon Huffman is the one rider that possibly could challenge Jeremy McGrath. Right now.
We're seeing it right now. Look at Huffman through the whoop section. He's got a beautiful line, putting the pressure on McGrath, and McGrath bobbles.
Denny Stevenson, number 24, gets out of the way as here comes Jeremy McGrath and Damon Huffman. Huffman right on his heels.
They're already starting to, they're pulling away now a little bit from Larry Ward, but no matter how you slice it, a beautiful performance by Larry Ward.
So it's McGrath, Huffman, Ward, Lamson, and Lusk the order. But the real battle is right up front, right where it should be. For the first time this season, Jeremy McGrath, beyond the second lap of the race, has a challenge.
Well, I think it's going to really get interesting when they catch up to the lapped riders. Huffman has the speed. All through the race, he's had the speed. At one point, he was a little further behind Jeremy, but now with a faster line to the whoops.
Here comes David Huffman out of the whoops to the outside. But Jeremy McGrath had a good angle. Huffman! Oh my goodness, bar to bar. The crowd is going bananas.
Little bobble there by Huffman, but he's letting Jeremy McGrath know he's got the speed to go up and run with him. And now that he's lost a little time, I'll bet you Huffman, he's got the speed. He's going to catch right back up to McGrath. And
Jeremy McGrath had trouble coming off the big one. As we go to the finish line jump, we'll be right back with this great racing action for the final in the 250s from Seattle's Kingdom in a moment.
It is. Do it.
Welcome back to the Kingdom, and you didn't miss a thing as Jeremy McGrath and Damon Huffman are still going at it. And here's the battle for third. Here's the battle for third as Steve Lamson gets by Larry Ward.
Well, it's been a long time since Larry Ward had to battle with these guys, and I think he's playing it smart right now. Lamson has got a little bit more than he's ready to give.
Huffman is still in the heels of McGrath out front as we see the third place bike, Steve Lamson, number 4, and Larry Ward now. It looks like conditioning might be a factor with Larry Ward.
Oh, I think definitely, and you can't blame him. But right now, Huffman goes by McGrath for the lead.
And McGrath jumps right back out. We go to the whoops. They hippity-hop through the first portion of the whoops. And then the speed factor going into the corner.
But Huffman with that outside line can double over the jump. McGrath knew it. He looked to his side.
Huffman breaking into the corner now. Has the angle to take over the lead. This is the first rider other than Jeremy McGrath at this point in the race to lead a 250 main event this year.
This could be the story, too. It looks like McGrath maybe shaken up a little bit. He can't believe it. I think he expected Huffman to come up and challenge him, but maybe it's happened a lot sooner than he thought. Huffman is able to use those long legs to get through that whoop section fast.
Going into the triple. Bar to bar. McGrath retakes the lead. They're not far from the lappers now, maybe 4 seconds away from Kyle Lewis.
They're coming into that whoop section again, and watch Huffman right back by on those long legs. I bet you these guys are getting tired, Art. They're starting to roll over that double. They're starting to cover each other's moves. They got a huge lead over third place Lamson.
McGrath was given the inside, and he took it.
These guys, what a gutsy performance by both of them. They keep retaking the lead. I think this is one of the best racetracks that we've seen all year. The best place for Jeremy to get a bad start because of the passing availability. And both these guys carved to the pack, and they're proving it once they're in the lead by passing each other back and forth.
Okay, over the finish line jump as we head for the first triple. McGrath now with about a 4 bike length lead. They go into the double trouble right now.
Yeah, this is the section where Huffman was taking a lot of time, though. Back to the whoop section, and you can see the lap riders. There's Kyle Lewis in your screen. See if that plays any factor in this.
Okay, into the Big Dipper. It's Jeremy McGrath. But Huffman is not letting him off the hook. Kyle Lewis gets out of the way wisely.
Oh, Huffman stalled it.
He stalled his bike.
That gives McGrath a huge lead now. I was about to say, Art, that if Huffman can just stay there and apply that pressure, he might force Jeremy to beat himself. But now Huffman way back. He looks over his shoulder over the triple to see where third place is. He might have to settle for second now.
To give some of those people in our audience who don't ride bikes an idea, what might have happened to Damon Huffman when he stalled the bike?
Well, I can tell you, these guys they've got to be exhausted at this point. And when you stall the bike and you got to put it in neutral, pull the clutch in, whatever, try to get that thing restarted and take off, you lose your rhythm. We're going to put the stopwatch on McGrath now to see what kind of lap times they're running. He's got the entire whoop section lead over Damon Huffman now. And there you see third place Lamson. 8-second lead, almost a 7 or 8 second lead over Huffman now. There's the cushion that Jeremy enjoys.
So we got Jeremy McGrath, Damon Huffman, Steve Lamson, Ezra Lusk, and Mikel Pichon is making a move up into 5th position.
I'll tell you what, Art, if Jeremy can pull this off tonight, he has silenced everyone who said, well, he gets off to the lead, he wins easy, he gets out front. He earned this one tonight.
We've got 2 laps to go. It looks like another Jeremy McGrath victory.
It looks like way too much time for Huffman to make up. Now he's actually losing a little bit of ground to Steve Lamson. Lamson can look up there and see him. That's got to give him inspiration as we take a look at McGrath completing a lap, 55 seconds. Slower than the 125. That leads me to believe that he's exhausted.
Jeremy McGrath coming from as far back as our unofficial count had it, 11th place at the start of this race, and then had to go through an exhausting battle with Damon Huffman. Back and forth we went. Huffman obviously not intimidated by the 3-time champion, but then Huffman stalled that bike out and Jeremy got the advantage. Jeremy, once he gets a lead like this, is one of the best that ever rode a bike at holding a lead.
Well, as Huffman comes around and take that white flag, he's just trying to salvage second place right now because Lamson is closing fast. As he come out of that corner, he can see him coming into it. He knows he's got to go mistake-free in this final lap to hang on to second. And either way, I think he's gained a lot of confidence tonight. Serve notice that he's going to be on Jeremy the rest of the season.
Of course, at the beginning of the race, Larry Ward thrilled the crowd, being originally from Seattle area, taking the lead in the beginning, and then this great comeback by Jeremy McGrath. This has been the best 250 race of the young season. Number 1, Jeremy McGrath, proving to everyone right now why he still remains the greatest.
Not far to go now before he takes that checkered flag.
Jeremy McGrath, his 4th consecutive victory. Well, nothing short of a flat tire would have kept him off the victory podium in winning this race here this evening. And a valiant effort by Damon Huffman, number 10. Steve Lamson in 3rd. Lusk in 4th. Our unofficial count has Pichon in 5th. Emig, Hughes, Ward, and Craig. That's our unofficial count as they come across the finish line. So we'll experience the stares of exhaustion mixed with the smiles of victory when we return to the Kingdome.